when we talk about shelter, the first thing we talk about is the human being who is shelter for their own inner life and their own soul and their own spirit. We, in our bodies, give a home to that. And then the earth gives us a home, and the first homes were caves or little brush shelters, even sort of rocky outcroppings kinds of things. So some of the children got enthralled with the lake dwellers, especially the European ones, especially that have been, those villages have been unearthed in Switzerland in more or less recent times. And some of them built those kinds of shelters, so that came next after our ancient Egyptian, who of course went back now 5,000 years in that house, up to the lake dwellers, the children were surprised that the lake dwellers of Europe were actually more current than the ancient Egyptian farmers, and they were surprised at the level of technology when that child did his oral report and spoke about the actual things that they had and used within that home, how much more sophisticated it actually was than the Europeans, because we have a Eurocentric picture, but it wasn't so. And so we went through there. We had a Romanian peasant's home with a special shingled roof that instead of, they didn't have chimneys in those days, so they had little, they called them eyebrows to let the smoke out in the roof, and the child actually constructed those. We had a Chinese junk from around the 1400s. And then we had modern buildings, modern homes, some modern businesses. We had a car repair shop and a veterinary, several modern tract type homes, the Empire State Building. So it was very interesting. They could actually see the progression. And in class itself, while in our writings, we concentrated on how a modern home was built, because I knew we were going to be building a balloon construction house, a balloon frame house. So we wanted to talk about that and how most the houses that the children live in mostly were built like that. We still had the overview of nomadic tribes with teepees, yurts, things like that as well, and how that carried through history. In some ways, in many ways, third grade is really the beginning of our historical picture in our curriculum.